Hello and welcome to All Top 5s. Today I'll be running through some of the smallest animals in the world. Each of the following is the smallest animal of its type: fish, mammal, amphibian, bird and reptile. But quick warning, most of these are adorable. Number 5. Kittis hognosed bat. Also known by the more delightful name the bumblebee bat, this animal is the smallest mammal in the world. It lives in riverside caves in Thailand and Burma, and it eats insects which it catches in mid-air. As its name suggests, the bat has a pig-like snout and huge ears, and it uses echolocation to catch its prey, as with most bats. It also lives up to its alternative name in that it's not much bigger than most bumblebees, at just over an inch long, that's 30 millimeters, and weighing only 2 grams. It's in competition with the Etruscan shrew for the smallest mammal in the world, but although the shrew is even lighter, Kittis hognosed bat is the shortest in length. Sadly though, this sweet little creature is listed as vulnerable, as its roosting caves are often disturbed by people, and in Thailand certain forest areas are burned every year, threatening Kittis hognosed bat, the smallest mammal in the world. Number 4. Peopre progenetica. Moving on to the smallest fish in the world, which, I'm afraid, only has a scientific name, P. progenetica lives in swamps and streams in Sumatra, Indonesia, and also used to be the smallest vertebrate in the world before my number 2 on this list was discovered. It measures a maximum of only 10 millimeters long, that's just over a third of an inch, and the smallest specimen of this fish ever found was only 8 millimeters long, which is just under a third of an inch. P. progenetica is mostly transparent and it has fewer bones than most fish, including having no skull at all round its brain. For such a small fish, it's interesting that the males and females both have different characteristics, known as sexual dimorphism. The male, for example, has toughened skin in front of his pelvic fins. This is thought to help keep hold of the female during mating. Even though it's the smallest fish in the world, we don't have that much information about it, unlike the next beautiful animal on this list. Number 3. The bee hummingbird. This beautiful bird is the smallest ever discovered. It lives only in Cuba and the surrounding islands, and measures at a tiny 2 inches, which is about 5 centimeters long. It's not surprising, therefore, how it earned its name as the bee hummingbird. It feeds by hovering in front of flowers and drinking their nectar, beating its wings so fast that they appear as a blur to our eyes, and it can visit an incredible 1,500 different plants every day. The beautiful iridescent plumage of the male bee hummingbird helps him to attract a mate, and the female, although less iridescent and beautiful, builds a nest measuring only an inch across and lays eggs the size of peas. Luckily, even though it's barely larger than a bee, the bee hummingbird isn't currently under threat. However, the rich forests of Cuba need to be kept clean and intact for this wonderful creature to keep its place in our natural world. Number 2. Peopre amoensis. Another one with a really difficult name, as you can tell I struggled with that. It's actually the world's smallest vertebrate, which means that it has bones. The P. amoensis frog was officially discovered in 2012 in Papua New Guinea. It was found by scientists who thought that it was an insect calling in the leaf litter on the rainforest floor. They scooped up some leaves to find this insect, placed them in a bag, but were astounded to see that it was actually a frog smaller than many insects in the forest. On average, P. amoensis is only 3/4 of a centimetre long, that's less than a third of an inch, which is just incredible. When I first saw a photo of this frog in perspective, like you can see here, I actually thought it was a Photoshop trick. They don't live in water like lots of frogs, and don't have a tadpole stage at the start of their lives, making them quite unusual for frogs. They make a very high-pitched sound, much like an insect actually, at a frequency of about 9 kilohertz. This kind of note. A beautiful little creature and entirely real, completely genuine. Though if you don't think a frog could get this tiny, check out this next unbelievable minuscule animal. Number 1. Brookesia micra. We've all seen and we love chameleons. They're brilliant characters and they have an intriguing ancient look about them that other lizards just don't have. But I bet you that you've never seen a chameleon this small. Just look at that. I mean, admittedly this is a young Brookesia micra, a juvenile, but the largest adult ever found was only 30 millimeters, which is an inch long, and that's including its long tail. Found only in Madagascar, this chameleon was discovered in 2007 by an expedition, and it's believed to be the smallest reptile in the world. This Bruchisia micra lives in the leaf litter on the floor during the day, but then climbs to tree branches up to only 10 centimetres or 4 inches high in order to sleep. I've chosen this chameleon as my number one because it's such an unusual creature anyway, and to have one that's so tiny that it can stand on a match head is just mind-blowing. And it's adorable. Rather sadly though, scientists believe this species could well be under threat quite significantly from the logging being carried out, as it's happening in the only area that they're thought to live. More research is needed to confirm this, but it's yet another example of such a beautiful creature hitting thin ice. And that's it from all top 5s for this week. So cute! Of course there are countless insects, arthropods and crustaceans and so on much smaller than these 5, but I wanted to show how even the animals we think we know well and that we see often have secrets and surprises for us still. And it's so sad that so many of them are dying out in such poor, cheap ways. Have a good old discuss of these 5 animals in the comments below, because I love seeing what you have to say about things. Please be respectful and considerate of others, of course. If you've enjoyed this video, give it the thumbs up on YouTube, because it really does help me and it helps other people find the videos that they might like to watch. Peace and love and cute animals to every single one of you, and I will see you all next time on All Top 5s.